Hello, this is Kirill from forexboat.com and welcome back to the course on setting up your virtual private server for reliable Forex trading. In the previous tutorials, we have completed all of the necessary steps required for setting up our VPS for smooth uninterrupted Forex trading with robots. And today we want to test our VPS setup. And the way we're going to do it is going to be really fun and exciting. We're not going to just restart our VPS. We're actually going to simulate a disaster on our virtual private server and see how it responds to that. So as you can see here, I have my 3 terminals opened. On this one I have several expert advisors working, as you can see up here in the top right corner. And they're all working on different charts. I've got my watchdog running. And similarly on the other ones, I also have 2 expert advisors and a watchdog. And this one I have 1 expert advisor and a watchdog. So everything's set up and we're ready to run the test. And in order to do that, I'm just going to make this window a bit smaller, and I'm going to find my hosting provider. So my hosting is with Photon VPS at this stage for this test. I'd just like to remind you that you can find out more about which hosting provider is right for you if you go to www.forexboat.com/VPS. And here I've got a comparison of the top 2, and I usually update that. Right now it's Photon VPS and VPS.net, and based on my monitorings and my test runs and the uptime I see on my servers, which I have with either of these guys, I will update this guide and maybe change the preferred VPS if that changes, but these ones are pretty good. So if you come over here, you can find out which one is better for you in your situation and based on your expert advisors and trading systems. Now let's go back to my VPS. Now here, in Photon VPS or in any other VPS provider, if you just go to your personal area and then you find that particular machine that you're running, because you can have several machines. As you can see, that's my Windows machine right here. And so if I go to I think if I go to view details, it can be different for different providers, so you just have to click around on the website a bit to find the right area. And basically what we're looking for is a screen where we can reboot our machine. So here we can reboot our virtual machine. Sometimes when you get a VPS, you might get a control panel, so you can do that from there. But Photon VPS, for example, they can provide you a control panel, but you can save money by not taking a control panel, and I don't really need a control panel, so I decided not to get one. So what we're going to do is we're not going to press rebuild, because rebuild will actually destroy everything we have on the VPS, and we don't want that. We're going to reboot our VPS. And why is that like simulating a disaster? Well, because it is a forced reboot. It's not a reboot where Windows knows that the virtual private server is rebooting and it gives Windows time to close all the programs and prepare itself for completion. You know how Windows can take a couple of maybe just under a minute to switch off sometimes. Well, that's because it's preparing itself to correctly switch itself off. Well, what happens when you have a power shortage, or I don't know, your computer accidentally switches off? Well, that's Windows doesn't have time to prepare. It's a forced completion of the Windows run. So right now we're going to do exactly that. We're just going to click the reboot virtual machine, and once we've clicked that, we're going to go straight to our VPS and see what's happening there. So for now I can still move the charts and the VPS is responding, but in a second you'll see that, you see now I can't even move the charts. I'm trying to click, I can't click, nothing is responding to, even though I have the picture, I can't do anything with my virtual private server right now. And like that's what you would see in the case if there was a connection disruption, or if there was a reboot on the provider side. And so now I'm starting to hear that noise that Windows makes when there's an error. Now there's a you see everything's gone gray and there's an attempt to reconnect, and it really does look kind of like a disaster, because if this wasn't something we did ourselves, then we'd be wondering what's going on. Why can't I connect to my VPS? I was just sitting on it. I was just looking at my expert advisors. So it's attempting to reconnect. 2 out of 20, everything's gray. So you might want to this stage you might want to click cancel, because there's no point. It's off. And now if you go here, if you look on your client area, you'll see that I launched this reconnection at a reboot request at 2:30 on 15th September 2014. That was that's according to the American time, and it's running. So it's at this stage the VPS is being restarted. As you can see here, status pending, meaning that it's being rebooted, and this page is being automatically updated just to tell you, so you can be notified exactly when it's complete. So what we'll do is we'll give it a couple of minutes, and we'll check in back once it's completed its restart. So it's been just over 10 minutes since we've rebooted our virtual private server. Let's go have a look how it's going. So launch the VPS. There's the connection. Let's have a look what's happening in here. So as you can see, we've got some error messages, because that is normal. There was kind of a disaster on the VPS, but at the same time you can see that the terminals are running, which is great. So I'm just going to don't send this error report. That's okay. So let's have a look and see if all of our terminals got launched and if everything's working fine. So there we go. Then you got this message that the VPS has been rebooted. And let's go have a look at what time the VPS got started. So just to make sure that it wasn't us who triggered the start, but it actually did it itself. So if we go into C and we go to reboot log, and here if we scroll down now to the bottom, you'll see our last reboot at Monday 9th. I'll just bring up the clock here. So last reboot at Monday on 9/15 to 15th September 2014 American time to 10:35. So here it's 10:44. As you can see, the VPS automatically logged in 10 minutes ago, and as you remember, we rebooted it at 10:30 according to this time. So it took 5 minutes for the VPS to reboot. And then as soon as that happened, Windows automatically logged in and started our terminals. So there you go. Everything's running. We still have that open order. We still have our expert advisors are running smoothly. The connection is correct, is fine. The watchdog is watching the connection. So everything's working great, and that's exactly what we expect from our virtual private server setup. So congratulations on that. If your virtual private server also rebooted correctly, then you've set up everything as prescribed. I'm really glad that you watched this series of tutorials to the end. In the next 2 tutorials, we'll just recap on what we've done, and I'll propose some next steps for you going forward from here. It was great having you on board, and I look forward to seeing you in the final tutorials.